It's not time management, it's this. That's what we're talking about today. Let me just get in my zone here. Okay, because y'all know that it takes me a moment to get into my videos. I have to pump myself up, right? Also, voice is a little bit raspy today because of the air quality here in southwestern Ontario. Shout out to everybody in northern Ontario who is unfortunately living through some pretty horrible forest fires. We're feeling the effects of the air quality here, but I can just imagine what it's like there. Sending everybody lots of love in northern Ontario. And yeah, excuse my raspy voice. All right, here we go. You have the calendar, you have the time blocks, you've done everything the productivity advice tells you to do, so why are you still exhausted? Hey Ripple Makers, I'm Janik, founder of Ripple Effect Leadership, and if you're an entrepreneur who has the vision but is still figuring out the plan, you are in the right place, because here it's all about leadership, creativity, and strategy for entrepreneurs who want to build something intentional. So let's get into it. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who showed up in my Instagram stories last week. I ran some polls asking about your biggest challenges, where you need support, and what's actually draining you in your business. And many of you voted, and honestly, the results surprised me just a little bit. I expected the answers to be all over the map with different industries, different stages of business, different challenges, but they weren't. The results were so clear that I knew I had to turn them into a mini series instead of trying to just cram them all into one video. Let's call it the Clarity Mini Series, because that's exactly what the results pointed to. Prioritizing, direction, and confidence, 3 things that feel completely different on the surface, but all trace back to one gap, and that's clarity. So this is video 1 of 3, and today we're starting with prioritizing, because 71% of you said that knowing what to prioritize is what drains you most, not time management. I can relate to this one, but it also surprised me a little bit because so much of the advice out there, including advice that I've given, points towards time management first. So what's actually going on? It's not that systems and structure don't matter, they do, and I talk about them all the time because they genuinely help, but none of that works if the direction underneath it isn't clear first. That's the piece that's actually missing, and you'll see the same route show up again in the next 2 videos as well. When I reflect back to when I was starting my business, getting clear on all of that was a challenge for me too. People kept saying things like, find your niche. Who's your ideal client? It wasn't until I'd gone through some trial and error, launching certain products and services, seeing what landed, seeing what didn't, that it became clear to me. So if you're in that same spot right now, not clear yet, still figuring it out, that's just part of the process. You're going to get there. So let's just get into a little bit of that. Most advice for feeling overwhelmed points to time management, better calendars, time blocking, another app, another productivity system. And look, those tools have their place. I talk about systems all the time, and I generally believe good systems matter. But you can have all of that, a perfectly color-coded calendar, time blocks for every part of your day, and still feel completely drained. Because the actual problem was never how you're spending your hours, is that you haven't gotten clear on what matters most right now in your business. I lived it way before I ever built a single system. So let me share a story with you. And I'll be honest, this one goes all the way back to when I was first starting out. I remember hitting decision fatigue, trying to niche down. Every piece of advice said, know your ideal client. I could not, for the life of me, answer that question. And here's why. My mindset at the start of building my business was leadership and self-leadership is for everyone. And look, it is, but not everyone gives a shit about leading themselves. It wasn't until I sat down and actually answered the ideal client questions for myself, who specifically I was trying to reach, what did they actually care about, what were they struggling with, that things started to get clear. And that clarity is what let me niche Ripple Effect Leadership into what it is today, working with solo business owners who are just starting out, roughly the first 1 to 5 years. Once you know who you're actually building for, deciding what to prioritize in your business gets a whole lot easier because you're no longer trying to be everything to everyone. And so why does this happen, right? I think that this is a common trap. Prioritizing means deciding what you're going to let go of, at least for now. And that's uncomfortable because it means admitting not everything on your list is equally important. Even the stuff you feel a little guilty about not getting to, sorry, guilty pile, you're staying right there, you're staying right there. Here's the thing though, your calendar will not do this for you. It will happily hold 15 tasks that scream urgent, and it won't tell you which one actually moves your business forward. So what do we do instead? We optimize, better app, better time blocks, because a full calendar feels like progress. But actually answering the question of what matters most, that's the thing that really moves you forward. Okay, but Janik, what do we do about this? In my last video, you made a list of everything you were stalling. Today's list is different. So grab a piece of paper or your notes app. I want you to list out everything currently competing for your attention in your business right now, projects, ideas, tasks, all of it. Then, once you have your list, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Does this task move my business forward this quarter, or does it just feel urgent right now? Let me give you some examples of what I mean. Answering every DM the moment it comes in feels urgent, but finishing the offer you've been sitting on for 3 months, that's actually what moves your business forward. Or redesigning your logo again feels maybe urgent, but getting one clear piece of content out that speaks to your ideal client, that's what moves you forward. And another example could be saying yes to every collaboration request might feel urgent, but protecting the time to actually build the thing you said you'd build this quarter. So I want you to circle the ones that move your business forward. And everything else gets parked, not deleted, not abandoned forever, just parked for now. So it stops competing for space in your brain and in your calendar. And I actually have an entire project in my Asana where I actually have ideas and things that I do want to complete in the future that I can come back to when I have the time or when it makes sense for me to work on those tasks and those projects moving forward. Instead, I'm focusing on my goals and my values, my milestones that I'm working towards this year. And I'm making sure that my tasks and my tactics are aligning with my goals for each quarter moving forward. So Ripple Maker, if you want help actually building this out further and creating an actual business plan moving forward, that's exactly what we do in the Ripple year. It's a full year of one-on-one support where we revisit your priorities regularly so you're never stuck guessing what actually deserves your attention next. So I'd love to know. Drop a comment with the one thing you circled, the thing that actually matters most for your business this quarter. Video 2 is coming next, and it's all about building a business plan when you're not even sure yet what you're building towards. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video coming out 2 Sundays from now. Peace out, Ripple Makers.